Hallo und willkommen an die Play It Up Podcast. Mein Name ist Shaun und ich komme zu dich live von Neunkirchen in Saarland.
Tschüss.
Just kidding. It's Shaun from the Play It Up Podcast. Welcome, everyone. I haven't forgotten how to speak English. This is the last podcast I'm doing from Germany. So that was a special little intro, which is actually probably quite bad German, but good enough. Welcome. G'day, guys. We got Danny and Neil.
Hello.
Hey, how we going?
Pretty good. Sehr gut. Dankeschön, mein Herr.
Can I say that was pretty good considering that you're hungover. Got a lot of enthusiasm out of that, man. Well done.
Yeah, I'm tired now after that. It took a lot of effort.
Yep.
Went to a German wedding yesterday. I've been to two in the last couple of weeks. Very stark contrast. Not weeks, but in the last month.
Yep.
The first one was very religious, and we were in a church, and it was very traditional. And then the one last night was actually a gay couple getting married. So it was not in a church, and it was not nearly as religious, but it was both very great times. So the
Awesome.
funny part about the traditional wedding in the church was that when they say, like, do you take this man and woman? Like, it's all German, but I could understand enough. So I knew what was going on, but they don't say like, yes, I do, or something. They say, ja, mit Gottes Hilfe. Yes, with God's help. And I was just like, man, that's old school, but also brutal. Like, I could only be your husband with God's help, or be your wife. Not on my own.
That's
I can't do it alone. Yeah, I just was like trying not to laugh in the church, Like, yeah, mit Gottes Hilfe. But yeah, I don't want to judge people or anything like that. I just found it funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good, and that's why I'm hungover, because of the wedding yesterday. So
hell yes,
I'll do my best, but this should be a short and sweet one.
He says while she's sipping a glass of water with shaky hands. For anyone listening on voice.
Yeah, that makes sense. If I'm shaking, I might have to go back to bed a bit later. But what's on the agenda today? We're going to have a bit of a catch up. Talk a little bit about a little bit of Donkey Kong stuff. A tournament is on, plus a certain Stroganoff smashing out a Killscreen. And Neil's got some stuff he wants to chat about. I went to the shed again in Denmark, and
I can't wait to hear about
time that. A little bit more. Yeah, it was good. I'll have to try to even remember what happened, but it was a good time.
Can't you just ask Johnny? He'd be able to tell you.
I mean,
or wouldn't he? He probably wouldn't remember either.
He would remember less than me, I would say.
Really?
The weekend's always a bit of a blur, but
good man.
I do remember. Yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it's coming back to me. So, yeah. But what's been going on in let's see, in your world, Neil?
Not a lot. Well, I shouldn't say that actually.
That's a dirty lie.
Yeah. We bought a house, which is exciting. So I'm looking forward to having a bit more time for podcasts and things like that. That's for sure. And setting up the arcade again. Got a nice double lock-up garage, which I'll have my arcades in, which I'm looking forward to.
Fuck yeah.
The old double lock-up, you beauty.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we've actually looked into like insect proofing the fucker, so that you can buy like these kind of like the particular garage door you can get these kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like broom wire that goes into the sides of the door, and like packet as well for insulation. So just a couple of things. So like I don't want it getting too hot with all my arcade stuff in there. So I've already looked into that. So looking forward to moving in.
That's awesome.
I think I'll start with because it's been a while. Just talk about the Donkey Kong Killscreen. So,
Is there a Donkey Kong Killscreen coming up?
oh yeah, well, it's happened quite a long ago.
No one's interested.
Hey Geoff, if you're interested, there was a Donkey Kong Killscreen by Neil Cairns a few months ago.
Geoff was a pivotal part about it for buying me a beer mid game.
Yep.
Champion.
He knows what's up. On your Suttor.
So, yeah, I'll just tell how it kind of happened. Was it was during the BPAC week. There was a quiet Thursday. There was a couple of competitions happening that night, but not a lot happening during the day. And I knew that there was like streaming stuff set up for BPAC. So I thought, considering I'm fresh off like because I don't have a lot of time, the most ready I will ever be is after a Donkey Kong off weekend, because I've been playing it for 2 days straight.
Hell yeah!
So asked Dennis to set up a stream for me, which he kindly did. Jumped onto a cab next to Barra, who was actually putting up some DK3 scores.
That's right.
And
Barbara.
Yeah, we smashed out some Donkey Kong. So yeah, it was a really good game. It was tough. It was harder than my first one, just because Donkey Kong was being a bitch with just timing of barrels, and I didn't have many good runs on the flames on the pies. But yeah, managed to up my score. So I think I'm 83rd now or something like that. So yeah, that was fun.
Beauty.
So it was really cool.
What was your score?
Broke the 900, didn't you, Neil?
No, I didn't. I think it was like 889 or something like that. So I was able to do it again with the spare man. So I got I did the I had a life in the bag.
Killscreen +1, which is pretty rad.
Crazy.
So, but yeah, it was.
Did you do that on your first game as well?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So.
Jeez.
You did that too as well, didn't you, Shaun? Yours was a +1 Killscreen.
Yeah. I only did it once, though.
Overachievers.
Well, it was just an opportunity I could do it. My first one was on MAME, and I just wanted to do it on hardware as well. So that was the kind of idea behind it. But
makes sense.
And how did that feel, by the way? So we obviously know that your first Killscreen was on MAME, and I think we discussed it in the podcast when you broke that, which was awesome. What was the experience like on arcade hardware and doing that at BPAC with a few people around versus just sort of playing all day on your day off?
Yeah, it was very different scenario. For some reason, maybe it's because I've done it before, I felt way more relaxed about it. Having Barra next to me just made me really chill, because it just felt like I was sitting down playing arcades,
Wow. So it didn't feel intimidating having Barra next to you. It was actually a steadying force.
Yeah, definitely.
Having the man himself there.
Yeah, definitely. He we just had a bit of chit chat between our games and stuff. I only did 2 or 3 credits before I got it, but he was I don't know, we were just talking in between boards and stuff like that. And I think that made me really comfortable. The most comfortable I am is when I'm playing at the arcades, talking to some mates with a beer. So it just had that kind of atmosphere about it.
That's great.
I actually got more nervous when Barra stopped playing when I got to about 600k. And I'm like, "You're going to jump back on the machine?" And he's like, "No, I'm watching you." I'm like, "Okay, all right." So
please.
The nerves.
No, bro, just gotta watch you,
That's exactly how Barra sounds, by the way, for any presence.
That's uncanny. Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Killscreen coming up, bro. Oh me.
Do you want a Killscreen, bro? Sorry,
no,
Barra.
I can't eat Killscreens.
Killscreens are shit. Nah. Sorry, I should let you finish your story, Neil.
No, it's all good. So yeah, I don't have much more to tell, to be honest. It just kind of happened, and yeah, I was really stoked. Kind of like it was really weird, to be honest, in a way, like because I said I'm going to try and get a kill screen on a genuine cab. I didn't really think it was going to happen. Like it was a couple of attempts, but to actually pull it off was pretty awesome. So
yeah,
hell yeah,
yeah.
That day, I've got a little to add on it before we move on. Was that that day at BPAC? That was the last day that that I was actually working at BPAC, setting up all of the arcade cabs for the for Teams Royale that night, and then Ultimate Punch the next day. And I was busy fitting out. I think it was MK at that point. We had like an MK2 cab that we fit out for Ultimate MK3, and I had a few things laying around. Like after I set up Neil's stream, and he was playing away. And as you know, like Killscreen probably takes like an hour and a half or so to if you're playing at a pretty steady pace. And I was just tinkering away and keeping an eye over my shoulder what Neil was up to. And yeah, I think maybe your first game, Neil, was like a shorter game or something like that, wasn't it? Your second game that you did it.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, because there was
I reckon you went about nearly 300 your first game or something, and
yeah,
had a beer, came back, and then just took it out second game, which was fucking awesome. So
yeah,
I was sitting there watching it over my shoulder, like, because I guess that I was trying to concentrate on getting everything going because we had so much to do, and but I couldn't concentrate because I knew it was going on over my shoulder, and I knew that we were hot off the back of finishing Kong off, and that Neil was going to be in form, and he was feeling pretty good. Couple of beers in, and did a good first game. So I thought, he's in with a chance. I might just shut up and just let him focus and do his thing. And so I walked back and forward through the stream a couple of times just to like catch a peek at what the score was over Neil's shoulder while he was playing. And yeah, so it was like 300, 600 plus. And then, like you mentioned, Barra went and headed off, and I finished up. And I think I started hearing a bit of a ruckus probably about 20 minutes after, and came to I didn't actually look at your score that time. I sort of gave it a wide berth, and I walked right around where all of the arcade cabs were on the other side of where like all the DKs were, so you couldn't see me in the reflection. And and then went and checked the score on the stream, because I think Kibby and maybe Barra were both sitting in the chairs at the streaming desk watching what was going on. And I saw that you were at board at level 21, and I just I did a double take. I was like, he's gonna fucking do it. And when you went and did it, I think I was like one of the first people there to say congrats and everything, because it was just like, I couldn't do anything else. Like, it was going to happen, and it was huge. So it was quite a good little side event for that to happen. So congrats again. It was really cool being around to be a part of that.
Yeah, thanks.
Take that, Warnie.
Two things
to get past all those leg spinners, eh?
That's it.
Well, two things I should mention. One of my first step was like at 140k. I towed a spring, like running for springs, and like that never happens. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a shit one. Like just, and then like I kept on playing, and I didn't die again until level 20 on the pie factory. I just had a bad pie board.
Whoa!
And it happens.
That's a 700, 800k man almost.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
700k.
It's good, man.
But because I died there was a real sinking feeling that it was going to shit the whole game. You know, like because
I know that feel.
I got really nervous after that, but like was able to manage to run it out. One thing that was really cool about playing it at BPAC, which is pretty funny, is that they were moving keg barrels, like kegs behind me.
A forklift went past you at one point.
On forklifts and stuff,
full of beer.
Yeah, and it was awesome playing DK in a factory kind of setting. Like that was pretty cool. So yeah,
yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Would have been wild if the barrels fell off the forklift and started coming at you, and you had to jump them.
You would have known what to
do. Yeah,
I've been training
backwards jump, quick.
Copper barrel on the head.
yeah.
Fuck. So I've actually came back from PAX this week, which has been great. So
oh shit!
How was it, mate?
It was really cool. Event wise was probably like not as good as other years, just because they're trying to get back on their feet.
Yep. How was Phil, by the way?
Phil was in form. Yeah, we had a great night. So one of the things,
full Robotron.
Yep.
Well, one of the things I did was on Saturday afternoon, caught up with Pell, who was in the retro area.
Yeah.
And we went to the arcade garage.
North
Simon runs, yeah.
Yep.
And it's really cool. So they've got like food trucks out the front and a bar, and then behind the bar is the arcade. So Simon just runs the arcade from what Pell's telling me. So it's a really cool setup because like you get your food and drink from outside, and then once you've done that, you can go play some arcades. And man, his setup is fantastic. I've never seen arcades in a public space look so good. He's got a 1942 DK, Gallagher. I think he's got a Miss Pack there.
Aaron, please.
Double Dragon. And all of the like I haven't seen CRTs look so nice before. Yeah. It was absolutely beautiful to see.
Good on him.
So yeah.
Aren't LCDs better?
They're an upgrade
to some people, yeah.
That's another thing you can tell us about Neil, but anyway.
So don't you make him cry.
Yeah, you will. But yeah, it was lots of fun. So I was there with Pell and Matt Tecchio and two troublemakers. Phil Day joined us as well. They had like a 4-player Pac-Man game. That you could play, and we played a bunch of that. That was heaps of fun.
Is that Championship Edition?
Potentially, I'm not sure.
You can all play against each other. It's a pretty cool game, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was lots of fun. Anyway, whatever it was. And then Pell and Phil and I went back to Pell's place to have a look at all of his fun garage stuff, and just drilled over all the machines and what he's got up and coming. He's got a
Pell took you back to his dungeon, eh?
Oh, he did, and had his way with me.
Wow. Wow. Nice.
You're lucky, man.
But yeah, it was really cool to hang out with those guys. And then I caught up with J-Mac, Matt, and Falcon.
The Falcon.
On the next
Falcon.
So yeah, it was awesome to see those guys again. And yeah, PAX was good, but not as good as other years. But I think it's they were just getting it up and running again, and it'll be back and better next year. So
I shall be there next year.
Well,
I haven't done I haven't been to PAX. Maybe we can try to make them believe that we're actually a big podcast and we can sponsor them.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they'll
get some free tickets. Or
we'll have a booth to play it up, where we can sign our posters.
I'm pretty sure we can get a ticket.
No one's ever heard of.
Really? Because we're a podcast.
Yes, I know other podcasts that do it, so I can't see why we wouldn't be able to. As long as we're using PAX within the podcast, we'll have to have a PAX episode kind of thing. But I've got no doubt we can run that. So I'll look into that for us next year.
We're going on a road trip, boys.
Well, I want to do a road trip. I want to do a New South Wales road trip early next year, if you guys are keen, because I need to get a cab back to Brisbane. And,
I forgot about that.
It would be awesome to see some of the guys from New South Wales, the game system guys, and Oswasha or Washa or whatever it is.
I just call him Owa because I don't know.
Owashawa.
Yeah, Owashawa.
Mr. Part himself. Two other things. Sorry, I know I've gone on a bit long, but
no, all good.
been
Alright.
playing Strikers 1945. So been able to make it
Working
to
on that.
the 8th level, which is the level I need to get to. So once I complete that, I'll be happy with the first loop of the game, and
Wow,
we'll submit that. So
that's a hard game, man. Congrats on that. Even getting to level 8, like, yeah, that's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Wow.
I just wanted to show that I could play something else. Like it's completely out of my wheelhouse. So it's been a really
Diversifying.
good challenge. So yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, my PB at the moment is 680k, and hopefully I can get to like the mid 700s and just submit a score. So
Was
yeah,
that
Nice.
just on Friday night, Neil, that you did your PB?
I did 650. So it was the furthest I've got in the game, but it wasn't my highest score.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
but I was able to do it twice. So getting better.
that's great. You can do that every time
I wish. I
Yeah.
wish. It's so hard. Like sometimes you die in like the second level. Like
now.
you just like
Or
have
the
to
first
restart.
level.
Yeah, just painful.
Crazy.
Um,
And
last thing,
what's that going to be on the Twin Galaxies high score list?
well, I'm aiming for first. Like if I complete all 8, it'll be first place on arcade and main.
Wow.
But it wouldn't like it would be first on Twin Galaxies, but the shoot 'em up players don't play it. Like they don't give a fuck about Twin
Yeah,
Galaxies.
yeah, TGs is the
So
thing to them.
Right.
The shmup
So it's
community
not
has
a
like
true world record, but
yeah,
it is, but
still,
it isn't.
still.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
I won't be.
Twin Galaxies is like that for a lot of games though, but you know, it's often the benchmark or like the place that everyone sort of puts um all of their world records. So
Hmm.
it's still significant. I don't underplay what you're
Oh, for
doing
sure.
because it's really getting that far in the game is really hard. So that's pretty cool. But yeah,
Oh,
again,
yeah.
like on I think it's like what's the name of the shmup forum that System 11?
I think it
Whatever.
might just be shoot 'em ups or something like that. Like it's something really simple, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something like that. But there is a certain
Do you know what
forum,
it
and
would
like
be?
all of those would
Sorry.
be yeah.
Hmm.
That'll be listed there, and there are some crazy scores that are just unreachable for the
Yeah,
common man.
yeah. Well, like even if it would be pretty cool. Like if someone saw that some asshole got the world record on Twin Galaxies, I would love for one of them to kick my ass and like
Oh
like a
yeah,
double the score and chuck it on Twin Galaxies.
yeah,
So
just mic drop on you.
yeah, totally. It'd be cool to bring them over to Twin
Yeah,
Galaxies. Even yeah.
I think it's
Um.
shmups.system11.org. At least that's one that I've just
that's
found.
the one.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, Shmup System 11. I forgot
Yeah. Right.
Shmup's front.
Yeah.
High score games list.
So
Strikers
yeah, a lot of the
1945 too.
Strikers 1945 it'll be.
Yeah, 45.
Not number 2. It's got like a 2
No,
after it.
No, there is a 2, but
That's
I'm just playing the
that's something
original.
different, hey?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think
Yeah, I
Part
mean,
2 is
there's
even a Neo-Geo title, is it? Isn't it something different? Anyway, it's not important.
Um. So the last thing I'll share, just because I've got it on my list, I should have probably added it to the general list. But Scott Tiller has wrapped up his podcast,
Yes.
the Pixel Pie podcast, which we were fortunate
yeah.
enough to all 4 of us from the Play It Up
Yeah.
podcast were fortunate enough to be asked to join Scott and
Yep.
for him to interview us. So just wanted to shout out to Scott. I thought it was a wonderful podcast, and
Yeah.
for me, it was a real eye opener into a community that was involved in gaming that I had absolutely no idea about in regards to Game Boy modifying. So
Yeah. Neither.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
Until
Yeah,
I
that's a big community. Hey, it's a really cool community.
yeah. So if anyone's interested in hearing about Game Boy modding and some people to follow, yeah, definitely hit up the Pixel Pie podcast because it was a hell of a show.
Yeah, all of the back catalogue of episodes are really interesting. Scott talks to some amazing people, and the amount that you find out and all the cool stuff that's on it is, yeah, it's so good. I I felt pretty humbled to actually be a part of that podcast for Scott to invite me on. I had a great time and enjoyed talking to Scott. He was a great host.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Better
you
than
talk
us
to
hacks.
people that do like injection. Yeah, that's for sure. It's like people who do their own button molding and shell
Yeah.
moldings and completely like. And Natalie the nerd from Australia as well. She like made LED PCBs for Game Boys. You can light up your buttons from behind. Like the community is insane, man. Like the stuff that they can do with these Game Boys, I love it. I've done
Yeah, I
some
love
modding
it too.
myself, but they are nuts. These guys who go that extra mile.
Yeah,
And he had retro RGB on there as well on his podcast. I thought that was pretty awesome.
I haven't
You know that
actually.
YouTube channel?
Yeah, I actually haven't heard
Bob.
that.
Oh, give it a listen because he's a funny and interesting guy, and he just knows so much about like retro gaming tech, and great channel as well. He does updates on all like any stuff that's coming up, like ROM hacks or like a new retro tink, new Game Boy mods, or new mods for all consoles, like all that stuff. He keeps up to date on the modern tech for retro stuff, and it's just a good channel. But anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all good. I'm done there. So, do you want to tell us what you've been up to, Shaun?
Oh yeah. So let's see. I guess since the last podcast, the biggest thing that happened gaming wise is that I went to the shed in Denmark for the third time. Shout out to the shed boys, especially Tria, who organizes it, who owns it, who just makes the whole weekend like amazing. Basically, you just go there, you don't have to worry about anything. Food is organized, beer on tap. Like there was a pretty fucking strong IPA on tap. I think it was 10% or something. And yeah,
does that have something to do with your memory recall for the weekend as well?
yes, it does. It was good. Like I actually ran a Tetris tournament while I was there because I had the buzz from the Tetris World Championships for the DAS play style.
Yeah,
it was in Germany, and I thought, well, it was kind of the Shaun shed because that's what they called it because they knew it was the last one that I'd be coming to. So that's what they were calling it, and that was an honor on its own.
That's really
and
nice.
It was near my birthday, and yeah, my parents gave me a little bit of money to help out with the flight. So it was all kind of like a birthday gift for me to go to the shed. And what better way to spend your birthday than with all those legends?
Fuck yeah.
And the Tetris tournament was really cool. It's I think it was called like Tetris Battle Gaiden, and it's this Japan only, I think, Super Famicom game. And you just have all these weird and wacky power-ups that you use against your opponent. And it was a really fun tournament that people were, but barely anyone had played it. Only a couple of the guys, Dust and Morton, had played it. And everyone else was just figuring it out throughout the tournament. So it was like double elimination. So if you lost your first game, at least then you kind of learned how to do it. And then everyone started to choose basically the same character because it was easy to use the power-ups. And then, Morton then ended up taking it. He beat, I guess it was Deuced in the grand final. I came third or tied for third. And I was happy with that. And these guys are super, super good. I think Morton is a grandmaster on like Tetris the Grandmaster. I don't think many people have done that, and yeah, he's just an amazing gamer. That was cool organizing that. I mean, that was tough. Like trying to run and organize a tournament at the shed, which is like just full on, party mode almost the whole weekend.
There are a few
kind of hectic.
There are a few decent Tetris players as well that went to that shed as well, though, right? Not just
Svavar.
Yep.
Yes, Svavar, me, Johnny. Yeah, the list that goes on. I mean, a lot of them are pretty decent at a lot of games, but
everybody who goes, it seems like everyone who goes to the shed is a pretty accomplished gamer.
Yeah, definitely. Like Jacob, who's been on the podcast, was there, and
yep,
he's also. We actually played a game of skate, like me, him, and and Johnny and Mads, who has a shop there called the Nintendo Pusher.
Yep.
That's his shop name.
Yep.
But Nintendo Pusherin, I think,
Nintendo
is the
Pusherin.
name. And yeah, he's awesome. But we played a game of skate, which was really fun. And Johnny's been injured, but his knee was a little bit better, I think, and skated decently. And
So
Jacob
few
tried a couple of
10%
tricks that
years.
yeah, he did. And Jacob had tried a few tricks he hadn't tried before. A game of skate, basically like a game of horse.
Yeah.
You know, in basketball, like one person makes a shot, the other person has to match it from the same thing. But one person does a trick, the other person has to do that trick. So yeah, it was really cool. I got some footage of the whole weekend that I'm going to be making an episode out of. It'll be better to watch that on YouTube probably. But I might do like maybe 2 cuts, one where it's like video, like more tailored to video, and then one that's more of an audio only thing.
Yeah.
Because I got like footage of us skating, and there's like footage of us shooting like this little pellet gun out the back, and we're pretending that we're like Americans from the South, and like, yeah, shoot that pumpkin, that kind of stuff. It was like, it was so funny. I drink Pabst Blue Ribbon, baby.
Well, Europeans pretending to be Americans from the deep south. I got to get onto that.
Dude,
that's got appeal.
The accent was really popular. They loved that. I think because their accent's kind of strong in some ways when they speak English. I feel like it's easy for Aussies to twist their accent to sound like others.
Yep.
So I could do that accent decently, and they thought it was pretty funny. A game I played there that Jacob was actually a tester on was Krautbuster. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
It's a Neo-Geo game. You can get it for the AES or MVS, but that only came out on a physical cartridge, and it has like heavy encryption so that it doesn't work on any emulators. And it's a pretty awesome game. It's sad that it's like hard to play. I looked on eBay and they're on there for like 2,000, 3,000, 6,000 euros.
Jeez.
Because they did I think they just did one run. It's kraut-buster.com if anyone wants to check it out. But it's just awesome. It's basically inspired by Metal Slug, but there's one game mode that's supposed to play like Contra, and there's one that's supposed to play more like Metal Slug. And it's made by Germans, which is funny, and it's called Krautbuster. Krauts is like it's kind of a racist term for Germans, but I mean, if they're doing it for themselves, then that's fine, I guess. And the description is: you are part of the glorious, albeit infamous, Krautbuster Corps. Your goal is to defeat the evil dictator Dolph Edelwolf and rescue all chicks. All chicks is like, I think that means girls or chickens. I'm not sure, but it's got heaps of different like things. Like you got 5 to 6 end bosses and several sub bosses. It shoots in 8-way directions. Some weapons allow 16 direction by swaying with the joystick. There's a grenade hold. Cool. There's a whole bunch of features, but it plays amazing. The graphics are amazing. The music is awesome. And I was playing that a lot. I played that the most, except for Donkey Kong, because of the North America versus the World tournament that was on, which, surprise, surprise, the North America won. But good on you guys for that. That was a Donkey Kong tournament that happened, and I had a okay score, 400 and something thousand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to play Donkey Kong with Svavar, Johnny, and Kim Kanonarm. He's just an unbelievable gamer and so fun to watch and talk with. He's really funny, and he can speak a bit of German too, so that was fun. He would just sort of randomly say some stuff in German, like "Oh, sehr gut, yeah, sehr gut," as he's like watching me play Donkey Kong, or if he's playing a game. And yeah, he's a legend with that mullet and the glasses. He's just so iconic, man. Such a humble dude.
Yeah.
And he had a folder of like memories and everything from the shed, all the high scores and stuff. Like, I think you guys would love that. I mean, Johnny loves that kind of thing. Neil, I know you like
sure.
stats and record keeping, and yeah, super cool. It was just a great weekend, and yeah, I guess that sort of. I played a bit of Outrun, which is that song is sort of like synonymous with the shed for me, like because it's playing like the whole weekend, and you don't really get sick of it though. Oh, I played a lot of Centipede as well. I fucking love Centipede, man, with the trackball. Actually, Millipede was the one that was in, and I just love that game.
Cool.
We went swimming. Svavar and Johnny went skinny dipping, so got to see a bit of sausage. Fantastic.
Just a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, just a little bit. It wasn't super warm, so
Yeah, fair enough.
You know how you get like a sausage from, how you get a Bunnings sausage and like there's a little bit of sausage hanging at the end?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I guess games that I've finished since last time we played was
just a hold up, Shaun.
I got a yeah.
Don't mean to interrupt your segment.
Go.
But I don't think you've talked about the Tetris Championship on the podcast.
We haven't talked about CTWC yet.
Didn't we?
No, we haven't.
We're meant to have an episode to talk about it, but we just haven't. Everyone's been busy. We haven't had a chance to catch up yet.
Okay, well, I can run through that quickly. So I got the train. It was only like a couple of hours away from Stuttgart, luckily. I mean, what are the chances that I'm living in Germany while there's a world championship that close? So I got to go. And it was just awesome. So the DAS play style, for anyone who doesn't know, just means like basically the way everyone plays, unless you're doing the hyper tapping craziness or the rolling technique, which is a new technique where you tap on the bottom of the controller and it pushes the directional pads into your finger at a really fast pace. They're very valid ways to play, but for me, I enjoy DAS the most because it really puts a solid end on the game. Hyper tapping does as well, but I just don't want to put myself through learning that because I enjoy just playing like the timing of DAS and holding left, holding right at the right times.
Yeah.
That's just how I enjoy it. And this tournament was DAS only. So it basically went back to the way the World Championships were that you would have seen if you've seen Ecstasy of Order or I guess the first like 7 or 8 years of the tournament.
My understanding was that DAS was the original sort of style until hyper tapping came in, and then DAS sort of like dropped off the face of the earth pretty much, but now it's back.
Yeah, so it's becoming a bit more of like there'll be 2 like world championships, and I think that makes a lot of sense. The rolling's nuts. Like they're putting in rules now for world championships and tournaments online stuff where there's going to be a level cap because there's not really a kill screen anymore. You can play indefinitely if you can roll well enough, and I think there's been some matches that take over half an hour. And it's just not good for esports. It's too long.
That's amazing.
For that type of game.
It's amazing they pushed it to that level. It's insane.
I can't last 5 minutes.
Like, oh no.
It's insane. In Tetris.
Right. I was going to say 5 minutes isn't so bad, mate.
Oh,
well. On YouTube, look up like Tetris rolling or world championship at a world record, and you'll see some just ridiculous Tetris. It's just insane. Because it stops getting faster at that point, and it's crazy. But I qualified, so it was top 48, got through, and I qualified somewhere around number 40. I didn't have the best game because, I went out drinking the night before with Svavar, and Svavar can drink, he's an Icelandic guy living in Denmark, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but if you guys know Johnny, these Danish guys, they can drink. So I was like hungover. I felt worse than I do right now. The whole next day basically, and just trying to get some good scores up for qualifying. They had so many CRT, so many NESs set up, and it was just so cool. I've got some photos and videos I can probably put in the video podcast if you want to check it out on YouTube. it was just so much fun. Just a whole weekend of Tetris. Adam MTS is his name, from Poland. An insane player, ended up taking it. Check out the final if you're going to watch any part of it. The final was hands down the best match, because he did this crazy survival where if he did not pull that off, he would have lost the championship. But like, it looked like his stack was done and he was going to lose, but he got just the right pieces and managed to just pull off some
fought his way back
moves, including like a T-spin. Yeah, and then just the crowds going nuts. Like, the atmosphere was as good as I've ever seen. Like, I've been to NBA playoff games in the NBA for the Golden State Warriors in San Francisco, and that was an awesome atmosphere. But this gave me that same feeling. Like, the commentator, like, this is a guy from the States, Quaid, he was there commentating, and you had another guy from the Netherlands commentating, and a guy from Germany, and they were all just like losing their mind. And you see the ref in the background start to lose his shit as well, which is great. He's just sitting there watching, all calm, and then it pulls off this move, and he's just like starts like losing his mind, because like, you just couldn't help it. It's a great clip on Twitch, on the classic Tetris CTWC Twitch, and also there's a breakdown video by A Game Scout on YouTube. That's the letter A and then Game Scout, if you want to check that out. And he breaks it down. And Tetris Schnecke, which is like Tetris Snail, it's a German guy, he came second. Both super young dudes. Svavar actually gave Tetris Schnecke his first NES. I think it was an NTSC NES, so he could play, because that's their version that's used in a lot of competitions. Like a few years ago, I saw a photo, and he was still like a little kid, like he was 14 or something, and now he's, I think, 17 or 18, and like, he's an adult now. And we saw him again, and he actually ended up, I think he took Svavar out of the tournament. So like, the Jedi became, or the apprentice became the master.
The Padawan became the master there. That's
exactly
huge.
Yeah. And yeah, Padawan, that's what I was trying to think of. But Svavar was stoked for him, because I mean, he helped him get to that point, and they're just amazing players, both of them. There was the 1 and 2 seeds, so they should have been in the final, and it was perfect that happened, and it was just beautiful. And for winning, Adam got a Switch, a copy of Tetris 99. You can't get prize money in Germany. They've got some weird rules about that, but I mean, still, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, it's not really about the prize money anyway. It's just the whole, having the tournament, everyone there together. So much fun. It was it was pretty cool, because it was in the lobby of a cinema, and they're playing like 80s and 90s cinema music, like movie music, a lot of times. So you would just be playing this retro game from the 80s, and then you would hear like Jurassic Park or Star Wars music playing in the background. It was super cool, man. Yeah, it was a great time. It was really, really cool. And thanks to the guys who organized it. It was a lot of the guys from the Classic Tetris Germany. I think Mark with a Q is one of the main organizers. He was working his ass off, and he knocked me out of the tournament, the bastard, while he was talking shit to me, which was fun. We were just talking shit to each other, and he said something like, I can't wait to beat you. So I can't wait till you get better. So then you come into the higher divisions and I can beat you more. Because when we play online, we just like, I'm not playing in the same league as him, but this was like everyone was in the same tournament. So we faced each other, because he was a high seed and I was a low seed. And he beat me easily. I played like shit. But I'm still going for that max out. I'm getting closer. I got 600 and almost 700k, 690 something k soon. So that's, another 300k, and I'm there. And
that's up there.
I believe I can do it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's getting there. So I'll be like, I don't know, maybe I'll be like one of less than 10 people who've gotten a Donkey Kong Killscreen and a Tetris max out. So that'll be my,
that's a thing.
That'll be on my Tinder profile if I'm ever single again. I'll get the ladies.
I'm sure you don't need to worry about that, mate.
No, I don't want to. She's the one. Anyway, that's me.
You can test that when you get home and put a Donkey Kong cab in your place. Ultimate test.
Well, it's going to be an upgrade. That's the good thing. When we get back, my giant Sharkade, the beast is already in my games room at my parents' place. Before we get our own place, we're moving in there.
Right.
So good.
So it's going to be like, oh, don't worry, babe. I'm just putting a DK cab there. It's much smaller.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll work. Hopefully she might be able to hear me right
Upgrade.
now. So,
I wouldn't put them next to each other, mate, because I'm pretty sure Shaun's Cade will eat it overnight.
It will.
If you leave it over there.
Just come back and there's just a joystick and 2 buttons on the ground and the cab's gone.
Just the control panels left.
Yeah. And Sharkade's just got like a big belly.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it though. That thing is just I built it with my dad, and it's obviously way too big, but at least it's got big enough on the control panel that I can turn it into a 4-player thing, and it's got the things on the side for like pinball emulation to use as flippers. So, I'm going to defend it till the day I die.
Oh no, I understand it. Like when you built it, you weren't thinking like genuine arcade Donkey Kong kind of stuff. Like no, it's just a main machine. There's nothing wrong with it.
It's the journey that everybody takes, man. My Double Dragon cab when I bought it was those horribly, really like snappy, firm, clicky LED backlit buttons on Double Dragon.
Right.
And I made it a 6 button so I could put in Street Fighter 2 at some point, as you do when you build your first cab, and it was an LCD, so it was pretty much everything that everybody on Game System Discord would hate. But no, I think everybody starts somewhere, and I think that the level that you're at with that monstrosity, I've seen it, and it's not a bad cab. It's just huge, like
it's just a bit big.
Good.
Yeah.
It's like it's a cab that Neil wouldn't feel comfortable playing. Neil only likes cabarets that he can sort of like he's twice the size of, so he can stand over and play.
Hunch over.
Yeah. A cab that's his size, you'd be like, Drake, sort of.
Drake, no, Drake.
I don't want to be comfortable. I need to be uncomfortable to keep my senses alert.
That's it.
That's been me. Apart from that, then I did I guess I don't know what game I was up to last time, but a few games that I finished lately. Metroid Fusion on the Game Boy Advance, freaking awesome. Cinemora EX, a side-scrolling shooter on the PS4, freaking really nice as well. Pretty difficult, tough game, but really cool. Donkey Kong Country 3 I finished on the SNES, and I got like almost all the achievements on retro achievements. I got like 104%. In that game, like the only way to get 105% is at the start. You have to put in the right name. Like it's just like this extra thing. You don't do anything else, but that's the only way to fully complete the 105%.
That's crazy.
I didn't realize. I got to the end and I got 104%. I was like, oh, cool. And then there's another achievement if you get 105%. I looked up how to do it. And they were like, yep, the only way is if you do it right at the start. So I'd have to play through the whole game again if I wanted to. I was like, no, thank you.
What's the right name?
Actually, I'll look it up quickly. I don't know what it is.
Gargle Balls, maybe.
Gargle Balls. I wish. Donkey Kong Country 3. 105%. Let's see. You have to use Tufts, TUFST. I don't know why.
Right.
Okay.
If you use the code water, it will cause your rating to change into cheat and chump if you save the game while using coins you obtain from the secret waterfall that you swim to.
Wow.
Okay.
Crazy.
Cool. Yeah. I also got a 1cc on Wardner on the arcade as part of the Game of the System. I did that on the very last day of the month for the Game of the Month Game of the System, and
same.
It took some grinding. I really liked it. Yeah, and then some jerk called Denny had to. I was like, oh sweet, I've beaten Dennis's score. I'm going to catch up. And then he
I dropped a Tanner bag.
Sandbagged me. Yeah, you did. Tanner bagged me, and I was a bit bummed, but also like, well, fair enough. We were both grinding for it.
Yeah, we were both playing it like the same time, trying to finish the fucking game.
Yeah, man.
I'll openly admit that I actually had to watch the strat on how to beat the final boss because
Oh, me too.
yeah, it's tough, like trying to pick those gaps between like those that things that fall down, and I couldn't get it, and so
I think it's possible, but it seems a bit impossible almost
compared to what you can do to beat him. Yeah, it's a lot easier to just do the strat and stand like at that right spot, and it's
almost pixel perfect, the spot, isn't it?
You got to, your toes got to be like on exactly the right spot on the screen, or otherwise, if you don't, and you cop a hit and it's all over, you find it hard to get back in because of everything that's happening on the screen. Manage that. Got the 1cc, and I think it's all about like what you've got left at the end of the game or something like that gives you a bonus, and
how much money you've got. I think is the biggest thing. And if you just spam or like point press and milk it at certain points, you get shitloads of points. So it's a good game though.
It's not a bad game. I was surprised. The first couple of games it didn't grow on me, but as you get further into the game, it's pretty fun.
What type of game is it, guys? I haven't played it before.
Side scroller, basically. Like you play like this little sort of wizard kind of dude, and it's really like jumpy and floaty, sort of like. Do you know what Tonma is?
Yeah,
it's similar to that. It's a bit jumpy and a bit floaty, and you jump and you have to get through obstacles and stuff. You can shoot fireballs, get different weapon upgrades and stuff. It's kind of fun.
How long did it take you to complete? Like how many minutes? Or is it an hour?
Like 10 or 15 minutes maybe.
To complete the game?
Yeah, it's only like a 20-minute game or something. It's
right.
It's not
like
a very long game.
Kind of like Golden Axe.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Time-wise, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's nice to have a game like that.
Oh, well done, guys.
Cheers. It's probably only like one of my, I don't know, 3 or 4 1cc's I've done on arcade games. I don't know, what do I have? Donkey Kong and Wardner. I can't think of something else. So I put in my notes for that. Took some grinding, but finally got the 1cc and 3rd place on the leaderboard this month. So I think I took out 3rd place, or maybe I wrote that before Tanner bagged me. I'm not sure. But it's all good. And I played Sonic Pocket Adventure, which is a Neo-Geo Pocket Color game that I just emulated on my Vita. That's a pretty cool game. Really fun little Sonic game. Not too hard, not too long. And last Sunday, I went to a VR experience. That was the most recent thing. That was really cool. Hey, my buddy bought it for me. Shout out to you, Julian. He gave it to me as a gift for my birthday. And we went last Sunday, and this is awesome room just set up with all these VR rigs. And we played, we started off with Beat Saber. And then we played this like archery game. So you've got the controllers and you're actually pulling back your bow and arrow, and depending on where you aim it and everything, it's very like realistic and accurate how the aiming works. And it's like a survival game, so there's waves of enemies coming at you, and you just got to shoot them with your bow and arrow. You also play like a death match against each other, which was really fun. You can duck and everything, and it's like pretty realistic. Hey, and what else did we play? What was the word? Propagation. It's like a survival zombie horror game where you stand, but you can turn around at full 360 and you just shoot waves of zombies that are coming at you. And pretty realistic graphics, pretty scary. Like when you're immersed in the world. If you don't like horror stuff, you probably wouldn't like it. Like giant spiders and stuff, and you're just shooting it in the face. And you got a shotgun, you got to like pump it, shoot. You've got a normal handgun, and to reload, you've got to like push the cartridge in the bottom. To reload the shotgun, you can hold a button, but if you're good at reloading, like putting the bullets in one by one like that, it's
you can do it quicker.
It's do a bit quicker, I think, and it's just more immersive, like more realistic.
That's awesome.
So I actually finished that game. It's not too hard to finish because you get a lot of lives, but played through that game, so that was really fun. And then there was this crazy racing rig that we played. First there was this deathmatch like shooting game, where you lasso yourself onto different platforms, and that's how you can move around. But you can also duck behind the tower that you're like with the platform that's around the spire. You can duck behind the spire and stuff, and like poke your head out and shoot. And that was really fun. And then they had this crazy racing rig, which is like fully vibrating and moving, like very. It's like one of those old school like Sega cabs where everything moves and it's on hydraulics, and you're driving a car with the VR headset, and you really feel like you're driving over like sand or something when you go off the track. And that was insane, man. That was such a cool experience. It's called Five Stripes VR experience in Stuttgart. So if anyone's ever in that area for whatever reason, give it a shot.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great time. The owner, really very friendly, very helpful. Spoke English to me as much as he could, so that helped. Yeah, fully recommend it. That's me, guys.
Nice.
Yeah. What's been happening with Nintendo?
Not a lot. I've been busy with studying and started a new job. Yeah, hell yeah. And doing IT project management. You really want to hear about that?
Well, yeah, I need a job.
Probably
Can I have one when I get back?
I'll hit up the boss and get you in, and like you can do admin or something like that.
Yeah,
smash it.
Seriously, I need a job. So
yeah, okay.
So that's a foot in the door.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's been a bit of that. I think the only thing that I've really done with gaming wise was probably just if it's not playing Donkey Kong, which we talk about Donkey Kong like a lot. I got a PB on Donkey Kong, which was 6:15, I think.
Yeah, you did.
Nice, man.
It's a good score.
If anyone's interested, there's a
Donkey Kong Killscreen coming up. If anyone wants to watch.
Hey Phil,
probably not anytime soon, by the way, just so you all know.
Billy, he's at 400,000 and he's on his first man.
You do that too well.
Not even Helen of Troy had this much attention. Shut up, mate. Fucking idiot.
That's men. It's been my message, Shaun. So apart from that, I've just been playing the Battle of the Arcades games, and I was just practicing those, ready for BotA, which I guess we can talk about a little. I think that we're maybe planning to do more of a dedicated sort of episode, or at least half an episode around it to discuss all of the ins and outs and what happened. And yeah, so
I don't know what BotA is. Sorry, I think I forgot since we lost the cup.
Of course you would, yeah. So for anybody else listening who doesn't know, BotA is Battle of the Arcades, and it's an annual competition we have here for arcades in Australia and New Zealand. So even everyone across the Dutch can come and play, and if they've got arcades at the moment. Are there any arcades in New Zealand that are open at the moment that would? Because there was one.
There was one and it closed over COVID.
Oh, shit.
Really?
Sorry.
That is sad. That is sad.
It is sad.
It actually is pretty fucking shit.
We're not laughing at the arcade. We're laughing at the accent.
It's my horrible. Yeah, they're laughing. They're not laughing with me. Everyone. It's at me. So Battle of the Arcades. Anyway, there was a bunch of arcades that took place. That took part in the tournament this year, and it was the first year that the mighty Netherworld were dethroned, which was fantastic. So
look what happens when I leave the country.
This is all your fault. Not going to. We're not here to place blame, but it's your fault. So
yeah. Well, now the pressure's on. If I'm back next year and we lose, then I'm useless.
You and me both. Just looking at the scoreboard, it was just like crazy. So
you guys had some beasts, eh? Well done.
We put up some major scores. Done. We can probably cover it in a little bit more detail later on in another episode, but
maybe we should get like JM on, and who was the other guy?
Get James and Ryan in, and I'm sure they'd be happy to have a chin wag about it. And, it's a good idea.
Huge,
that could be nice.
huge shout out. Yeah, huge congrats to One Up. It was a huge showing. Like they didn't just win; they annihilated the competition.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. You guys smashed it.
We wanted it this year, big time. It was I think 490 something points or something like that. Separating.
Yeah, crazy.
It was more. We were a bit more worried about 1989 catching us in second place more than anything because they were very close. They came very close. So
also,
shout out to them. They did really
to Tim Harvey and Steve Kerr and all of the other legends that played at 89 as well. They put up a hell of a fight too. I think Tim actually got a world record on Sunset Riders during the during the tournament as well, which was pretty cool.
That's sick.
Yeah,
man,
a hard game too.
I'm really stoked for you guys because like you went from kind of struggling to even get numbers when we first started with BotA to just absolutely annihilating Netherworld. I was going to say us, but I wasn't there, so I don't want to take any part in the blame. But you annihilated Netherworld, man. It must have been nerve-wracking, right? Like on the day, because in the past, like scores have come in late from all teams, and you must have been thinking this could happen, like because people are grinding till the end.
You hit the nail on
maybe
the head.
Some people haven't put all their scores in, and were you guys just like kind of quivering in your little space boots,
suffering in our jocks? Yeah, we were pretty worried, to be honest. Like
suffering in our jocks.
But no point did we feel like we had this in the bag at all. It was so we looked at the scores, and yes, we had a decent margin, and we just thought, well, that's great, but it doesn't mean anything until it goes full time. While there's still time to play these games, you don't know. And I think at that point, JT still hadn't put in his 10 scores yet on all of the games. So for everyone listening, it's a whole weekend event, Saturday and Sunday. You have 2 days to play 10 different games, and all of your scores get entered. And the way that it works is the top 6 players, I think, get your all of your scores accounted for your arcade. So it's the top 6 from each arcade, and whoever gets like the best scores in each, it's tallied up with a bunch of complex calculations in the background, but overall, it creates like a score for each arcade. In the end, there can be only one, right? So we kept on.
There can be only one up.
There can be only one up. So when we were playing, like, and especially halfway through the second day, the nerves really kicked in because we had a decent score, but we knew that there was still time left for everybody to submit decent scores. And like I sort of mentioned just before, that I think John had not submitted his 10 games. So until you submit all 10 scores, your scores don't appear on the scoreboard. They'll appear in the individual games as you submit the score, but they don't have any points tally next to it because you haven't played your full 10. So we were super nervous, and that actually pushed us twice as hard to replay the games that we'd played and got decent scores in. And I think until we were actually in the last half an hour that it started to hit home, well, geez, we might actually take this out. And yeah, it didn't seem real that we were actually in a position where we were able to win the comp. And what we did was amazing. Everyone went nuts, and it was a huge relief. It was pretty cool.
Is there any footage of the announcement of you guys winning?
No, I think everybody was sort of too busy. Just there was no real sort of official, hey, it's over and the scores are locked and we've won. It was like, have they finished it yet? Have they? Have the scores been locked yet? Have they been locked yet? And we're like, I think we've got it, guys. I think we've got it. Like, unless
such a cautious celebration,
unless everybody like puts in some crazy ass scores, then I think we're done. And and it did. I got a call from Tanner saying congrats and whatever, and he was nice enough to bring the cup over for us too, which was really great. So that evening we the cup came over to One Up for the next 12 months. So
the walk of shame of Tanner bringing the cup over. Good on him.
The walk of glory for the cup.
Yeah.
it's in a place where it's truly loved, not just put up in a dusty corner in the netherworld.
Hey, no, we used that. We drank from it on
Yeah.
on many
every so
occasions.
often,
We were
we'd
worried.
bring it down
We
and-
didn't drink from it because we thought there might have been balls in it or something like that. So we were
Oh,
like,
there's I'm pretty sure there have been balls in it, but no reason not to drink from it. Just makes it taste like victory.
it's just a bit more vinegary, huh?
Is that what balls taste like? Like victory.
Victory.
Right.
Victory balls.
I'll take your word for it, mate.
Yeah. So
that's so good. But it needs to be in a dusty corner. It just makes sense in an arcade to get that feel.
It's front and center, polished up in lights at the moment. I think it's got cobwebs at the moment because of Halloween. Like it's got like fake cobwebs and spiders on it because
cool.
Because you got to do that Halloween. But
it should be front and center.
It most
right.
definitely.
And it makes sense because at the 1UP it is a dedicated arcade. You don't really need to worry about like if it was like somewhere where people could get it at Netherworld, you'd just get drunk idiots in the valley like, oh, the cup, yeah, let's drink out of it, or but they could still put it somewhere more front and center. Maybe we'll purpose build like a little a thing for it, and it's empty as a reminder for the rest of the year until that BotA happens again, and then we can fight super hard for it.
Yeah. So apart from that, playing BotA games and playing a lot of Magician Lord, which I didn't enjoy. I gotta be honest about it. Magician Lord isn't a great game. Sorry, Steve Holmes.
Magic Ian.
Yeah, Magic Ian Lord is just it's not cool. I'm not into it, but
it wouldn't be fun if we were all playing the same stuff though. So
exactly.
I'm glad that somebody liked it. To be honest, like at least Stephen enjoyed it.
Who liked it?
Stephen. That's it.
Right, Steve.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy Splatterhouse either. So
no.
The 10 games that we played, I think between the two of us, we should be able to list them all. There was Ms. Pac-Man that we played. We played 1942. We played Space Invaders. We played Sunset Riders. We played Snow Bros. We played
Nightmare in the Dark.
We played Splatterhouse.
Ms. Pac-Man.
Yeah, I mentioned Ms. Pac. Yep.
Oh,
Raiden 2 we played as well, and there were 2 others, so to a total of 10 games.
Just looking them up now. You said Snow Bros, Sunset Riders, Splatterhouse, Magician Lord, Ghouls and Ghosts.
Oh yeah, Magic Ian Lord.
1942.
Yeah,
Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yeah. So there was like when you think about the variety of games that were in Battle of the Arcades, it's pretty diverse. Like going from playing Snow Brothers to playing Sunset Riders to playing Space Invaders, and then going to play Raiden 2. It's mind-bending stuff having to go from one game to the next like that. And makes for a hell of a weekend.
Hell yeah. No, we'll get more in depth into who did what and what arcades were involved, and
if we can, we'll ask nicely for James to bring his stats in. So James Morris from 1UP Arcade has done a full analysis of the data from Battle of the Arcades and has some really interesting stuff. So it'll be really cool to go into that granular level to get an understanding of what went into each game. And so if we can dedicate some time in an episode to do that, it would be really, really cool.
No, that's awesome.
I can't do it. Me, numbers.
I mean, you guys dominated, hey. The top 10, like the top 10 you guys have the top 3 spots of player performance. Dennis, you're number 5. So of the top 5, you've got 4 of them.
Yeah, 4 of the top 5. I think Tim Harvey was in 4th. Which if I had a better game at Space Invaders, I would have tipped him at the post, and it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4 for 1UP Arcade.
Oh wow!
Amazing.
I stayed in Mark Webber and stayed in 5th. So
all right,
that's okay. It's fine. It's still, out of all of the games, all the people that played the games, like finishing in 5th is still pretty awesome.
Oh, it's amazing. There's like 60 people that played something like that. It's great to be in the top
10
5.
even.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shit, yeah.
So
Good on
I
congrats
was
to everyone.
11th, so I'm shit.
Ah.
Fucking Tannehill got me at the last second. It shouldn't have counted.
Do elaborate
Te-
for everybody listening on that, by the way, because it's pretty funny.
Oh, I was coming. I was just
He
coming.
sandbagged his own teammate.
Yeah, sandbagged his own teammate. So it was a bit of a joke, but yeah, I was doing well for Netherworld, and then in the last second, Tannehill puts up some Magician Lord score of I forget what it was. I think it was like 90 something, which is pretty good.
It's a good score.
It's a fucking hard game. I don't know how you guys are getting those big points, but obviously spending more time playing it. It's
Played the shit out of it.
Yeah. He pipped me at the very last moment for highest score for Netherworld. So I think I came up. I think he ended up like 9th or something, and I came up 11th.
Yeah.
In the comp. I was happy with that for the amount of effort I put in. So
same thing happened with me and Steve Holmes. That it was probably the last 15 minutes of BotA that Steve went, I'm going to go and have another game of Space Invaders and see how I go. I'm like, yeah, okay, Steve, you're not going to get it. But so I was actually ahead of Steve in the rankings, and then he had that last game of Space Invaders in the dying minutes of Battle of the Arcades. I think he entered that with about maybe less than 5 minutes to go, and it didn't make any major change to the scores of 1UP Arcade. But what it did do was switch Steve and I, so that instead of me being I think I was 3rd for 1UP. It put me down to 4th, and Steve swapped with me for me to go to 4th place instead. I was just like,
do you remember what his score in Space Invaders was?
It wasn't much. It was.
I can look it up.
It would have been
before I get off this page. It was Neil. Your score for Magician Lord was 93,020, and then Tannehill put up 93,920. Just beat you by 900 points. What a dick, eh? That's crazy because there was still 2 people between you guys, so he got an extra 3 points over you for that.
Well, like that score is very close to like the start of the 3rd level, which is just mayhem. So
okay.
So it kind of makes sense that there's kind of like a block of numbers there.
Yeah. Okay, so Spaceys. Well, no surprise that Tannehill had the highest score by far on Spaceys.
What a surprise, yeah. Went head and shoulders above everyone else.
Well, Neil did well, though.
You got like 20k or something, right?
Yeah, got a PB on it. Yeah. I reckon I could push that further. I actually had a bad death, but I was surprised that I think James or Ryan had like 2nd place on that, which is huge.
James, JM 25,240.
Yeah, and Ryan had a really good Miss Pac-Man score. I'm like, wow, they've really put in some effort here.
The guys, all the guys went outside of our wheelhouse to try and get some decent scores up because we just wanted to be competitive. We thought that that Netherworld would be obviously the team to beat, but we'd have to come out all guns blazing to beat them, and so we put in the best effort we could, and we're really happy. So
it should be.
Yeah. So what did Steve Holmes get?
So Space Invaders, you had 3,840, and then Steve came in with a sandbag of 4,120.
Yeah, that's all that separated us between. Yeah,
4 bags, but there's 2 players between you. Yeah, so that gives him 26 points, and you had 23 points. So you got bagged, mate.
Sure did.
Team bag.
Yeah, me and Neil both got team bagged.
Team bag, that's good. I was like, team bag, that's great. Sorry, I'm losing my mind here. I'm buggered.
It's all good. We should probably call it a night anyway. Unless there's anything you wanted to add, Dennis, about
no, that's me. Like apart from
I'm off yours.
That's
I'm done. I'm off yours.
Yeah, that's all I've got. So
but yeah, congrats again, man. And hopefully we can do a proper give it a bit more justice next episode.
Brad, that'd be cool. Man.
Could be interesting to get Stephen on too at some point. Just talk about what it's like, running that giant, awesome business. I can't wait to go back there. I haven't seen it since it's been changed.
You can when you come back, we can go and talk to him.
Yeah, in person.
I've also done a survey for BotA that I put out to all the arcades, and there's like 35 responses, which is really good. So like half of the people that played responded. So
It's a
I can
meaningful
add that
sample
information.
size.
Yeah, just something to provide to Jimmy, just to find out what everyone wants to like, how people want the competition to run. So, yeah, we could talk about that stuff as well, I suppose, next episode.
Rad.
Geile Scheiß. That's German for, well, it translates to horny shit, but they use it as good shit. Anyway, I don't even know why I said that. I'm buggered. I'm done.
All
You're a hungover
took
man. You probably just want to crawl back into bed and go non-eyes. That's all right.
I think I'm going to watch Lord of the Rings. I have never seen all 3 movies, and
Really?
I'm embarrassed every time it comes up, especially now that TV show's out. Yeah, because people know me as, you know, a nerd guy who likes movies, and for some reason, I've just never watched the Lord of the Rings movies. I've watched the first one, and I liked it. I don't have anything against it. I just have never gotten around to watch them, and I don't mind long movies either. So
the second one's pretty boss. I really like the second one.
Yeah, Two Towers is pretty good. It's Kathleen's favourite.
It's Jen's favourite too.
Yeah,
I like the first one.
Yeah, my favourite's probably Fellowship or Return of the King. It's pretty good too.
All 3, eh?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to watch The Hobbit. And
no, don't do that.
Yeah.
No.
Don't do that.
No.
Maybe the first one is a stretch, but it's all right. It's watchable. But the other 2 that they made out of it, not so much. Nah. Wouldn't even.
Not so much.
Watch Lord of the Rings. Just start there, and
yeah.
Happy days.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, well, that's my plan. I might go get some KFC. They've got pretty good KFC here in Germany, and that is filthy good hangover food.
Fuck yeah!
And they even have vegan options here. They do vegan KFC here. So.
Oh wow!
No such thing as vegan chicken, man. Well, I suppose they eat seed, so maybe they're tricking you. They're like, oh yeah, it's vegan chicken.
Doesn't matter. You can just drown yourself in fucking potato and gravy anyway, because it's the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I guess they still have the same coating for the vegan chicken. I think it's just super processed, like soy and chickpea. But like, I've tried it, and I'm not vegan, anymore. But I've tried it, and it was good.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, you're not really going for the quality of like the actual meat or anything. You just want that delicious, filthy coating that its stuff is in, and then potato and gravy and Mountain Dew, and then just have a shower because you feel like filthy ass. Yeah, oh man, I'm super hungry now. But I think Michelle's mum is making Semmelknödel, which is like these German bread dumplings. They're so fucking good. Holy shit!
Man, you can't lose. You're on a winner.
Win-win.
That's usually with gravy as well. Yeah. Oh,
fuck.
Oh, you fucking laughing, mate. You're laughing.
Laughing. Yeah, good on you.
This was a fun episode, guys.
All right, we should probably
thank you, everyone, for listening. Yeah, let's fuck off.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
See you.
Thank you.
See you guys.
See you, mate.